Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Share Your Grin. Today we are going to be checking out something that I like a great deal, and I so hope that there are some people out in the world that like it too. I do think it is true. I think a bunch of people like it just based on viewership of certain videos and whatnot, but I thought I would share some stuff with you guys. Essentially, this is going to be a Share Your Grin where it is going to be a little different. A lot of it is having to do with music, which is cursed on YouTube in a big way. God help me. Anyways, I'm going to link to a lot of the things we're going to be talking about. I will put some nice free ambient music in the background, so hopefully you guys can get an understanding of what we're going to be talking about today. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, I love ambient music, specifically the right kind of ambient music. I feel like, and I'm not sure about you guys, but I feel like when it comes to sound and music, maybe not music, because there'd be different people like different things, but I always feel like ambient music is such a fine thing of like exactly what it's trying to persuade. It's not trying to be super loud and percussive. It's trying to like get you to a place of serenity and focus, depending on what you're looking for. Hence the term ambient music. I don't know if that's what it actually means, but that's how I feel. It's what it means, which is nothing. Okay, but yes, how this is going to work is I'm going to link to a lot of the music that we're going to be listening to in like 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be going through all the videos. Well, I'm actually just going to pull it up, so if the image looks exactly like what the link takes you to, then you guys can listen to it and see all that, but I will have to mute the video whilst we're listening to it. But yes, also, I'm going to be suggesting a ton of channels that are fantastic about their ambient music and being consistent about creating such wonderful sounds. Also, I want to actually look up what are the benefits of ambient music, because there's a lot of journalists out there who or scientists and whatnot who consolidate various studies about songs, music, and like how to fall asleep to certain songs or what songs help you fall asleep and stuff like that, which we may cover in the future. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into ambient music and why it is the best. Also, suggest to me, if you guys are also into this, any ambient music that you also like. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the first link in the description is going to be this. This is my absolute favorite. I found this one, and this one to me, I was trying to find, you know when you hear a genre and you're like, okay, I get it, but I feel like you're missing the mark because you're like, there's this very nice soft tones, there's some rain, but then randomly you'll put like a and I'm like, oh, fuck, what's that? What are we doing? And I kept cycling through, like, ambient music, till I found something that was kind of like that, and then, boom, I found the perfect one, in my opinion. This one is, like, the one, it's just perfect. It's my absolute favorite. That's why it's the first one we're talking about. I'm not trying to bait you guys out here. But one of the things I want to talk to you guys about is the general idea of what ambient music is. Hopefully you can go ahead and click the link, and it'll take you to this video. You can listen to it in the background and see if you fall in love like I did. But also, by the way, something that's ever present within music on YouTube is anime characters being in the thumbnails and as like the center stage of the image in the video as well. Just have to deal with that. Yeah, I like it a lot. Personally, I love anime to pieces, but you might not be so favorable about it. But it is what it is. What is ambient music? Now that we're listening to some of it, well, it's interesting because I think it's like, especially when you look in and you see like the names of the videos and like the tags and like the descriptions and such, it seems like people get different things from it, but it seems like ambient music, generally speaking, is for like people who have trouble sleeping, people who need to study, people who want to relax, people who want to meditate, that kind of genre of things, which, yes, we're going to get into. A lot of it is kind of hilarious in the titles. Some of it's like manifest happiness. And I'm like, whoa, I'm just trying to relax, my guy, but okay. But yes, to me, ambient music is good, but if you add some rain behind it, ooh, it's so good, man. So good. I love ambient music with some nice rain in the background. And just, again, because to me, and yeah, I guess I'll talk about it now, but I'd be interested to hear what ambient music is for you guys. Like, what do you find? Do you guys use it for studying? Do you guys use it for sleep? Do you guys use it for just when you came home from work and want to crack open a beer and just relax? And this is something that can help you do that. So I'm curious. But for me, ambient music is kind of an antidote to a problem that I've always had. And for me, I find it very, very, very hard to quiet the noise, the constant like go 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 do stuff, get stuff done, and like just the I guess it's like ADHD, I guess, in my brain. I had the same problem when I was in school where I tried to focus and pay attention, but then I immediately would like jump and think about something else, and I'd be like, idiot, stop doing that. Think about what's important. Like, we're gonna fail this test. We're gonna mess up in this way. Come on, realign yourself, damn it. And I need something to like, and it's funny because like clicking a pen made the world of a difference. Like, it allowed my brain to focus on this stupid rhythmic thing. And listen, but also it's making a click sound, so people will fucking hate you. So, but then here comes ambient music, where it's this noise that isn't noisy. That's the best way I can kind of describe it, I guess. Ambient music is noise that is everything but noisy. It is trying to take that part of your brain that wants to jump around, that wants to think about crazy shit, and it allows it just to have this thing in the background that drowns out silence, but also has enough. Because you can look up on YouTube. It's another kind of weird subgenre of weird music, or like fads in YouTube music. But it's basically like tones. So it's like, I don't know, there's like, I've seen it on like the suggested tab a couple times where it was like, this tone will help you sleep or will get rid of back pain, and it's just like a frequency of like, and I'm just like, okay, dude, maybe there's research into that. It sounds like a lot. Sounds like some out there shit, but whatever. I'm into this weird music, so I'm not one to judge. But there's this wonderful, perfect nature to ambient music, in a specific way, which is why I kind of want to go into it. But it's like, again, that to me is why I like the Rain edition. I kind of joked about it, but in general, I think the idea of like adding this soft thing, because for me, a lot of ambient music is like I just mentioned, that tone thing where it's just like, and that's not what I want to say. If it's soft, it's not like jarring and a nightmare. Well, it kind of is. I don't know. It's kind of off-putting, a consistent tone like that. But to me, it's the addition of ambient music, of rain, or of this, like, you want chaos, but only enough to kind of distract you from the perfection of a single tone, or a consistent beat that's the same beat constantly replaying. Which is why this one that I found with Deku studying as the header, relaxing, sleepy music. But I don't really find this music makes me sleepy. To me, it distracts the parts of my brain that are awake and they're trying to distract me with the rain and with this. Like, also, ambient music usually always has. Sorry, hit the mic. It usually always has like a piano in it, or like a soft violin or something like that. Again, as the kind of slight percussion in it. And again, I think ambient music starts to fall apart when you start adding like Beethoven's symphony of and your brain's like, okay, we're going on an adventure, and I'm like, wait, we're supposed to be focusing. please not. Which I suppose that music could be good for like trying to come up with ideas and being inspired by the chaos and all these things. But when you're trying just to focus and achieve deep focus, then I find ambient music helps a lot, specifically with that part of your brain. And maybe there's something to that. Because a lot of these ambient musics that I listen to are like relaxing sleep music. And maybe it's because it genuinely is trying to soothe a part of your brain. And maybe that part of my brain is like super ADHD above everybody else's. So normally when people listen to this, they would get real tired. But for me, I just become normal. I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. Probably we're going to look into the positives of ambient music here in a bit. I'm sure by some study that may not be true, but we'll look at it and maybe believe it. So yes, this one right here, I love it to pieces. It's Deku living his best life, doing homework. This is my favorite one that I found. It's part of this channel right here called Soul of the Wind. Now again, I can't let you guys actually listen to it live in this video because of YouTube nightmare copyright shit. This is Soul of the Wind. They upload a great deal of music, and oh boy howdy is it fantastic. Also, they're pretty consistent, which I love so much. But a lot of their music is very similar to that. It seems like it's just trying to, it seems like they get it. Like there's some ambient channels where I'm like, okay, what's this? This is really off. You know what I mean? But they seem to really understand like the rhythmic nature and the softness of distraction. And just the right level of distraction. And also, they're all kind of weirdly different as well. Like, yeah, most of them have a piano, but sometimes they introduce something, like a little element of something different. Like, instead of maybe rain, it's like an ocean receding and going, receding and going back and forth super, super softly. And I mess around with audio enough to know that they tweaked the sounds to make it so that they're softer than normal. So that they aren't distracting, but they're still present enough to where they distract the parts of your brain that are a little noisy and a little chaotic, and soothe them to a great degree. Also, just in case you're wondering, I would highly advise, if you guys want to try this, when next time you're studying, to throw one of these on, maybe the one I just showed you because I love it so much, and just listen to that one back as much as you can, and see if it actually does help you focus or retain information, and stuff like that. If it helps quiet the noise in your brain, so that you can actually get shit done at a greater efficiency. Hope it worked. Next one. But this is a great channel. I'd highly advise you guys go check out. It's called Soul of Wind. Absolutely lovely. Again, they're quite consistent in their thing. Also, they happen to always upload monster videos, like 10-hour meditation weirdness and all that. So yeah. Okay, this is another one by Soul of the Wind. But this one's also fantastic. I would highly suggest this one as well. This one it's called 2 hours of beautiful piano music for studying and sleeping, and it says BGM. I think it's background music. Regardless, it is also really good. This one's different because it's a little bit more demanding. Like the other one, the Deku one I just showed you, is very, very mild. Like it's not supposed to be distracting. This one, I feel like is the tune of it is facilitated towards happiness. It's like it kind of. It doesn't just distract you, it kind of tries to distract the bad part of you, or the distractive part of you, and then pushes you in a direction of happiness, or like upbeatness, which might sound better, and it's not bad, it's just not quite, it's just not on point. Also, my god guys, these channels, these souls of music, I bet they're making fucking bank. This video I just have is 51 million views. Whew, and it's 2 hours. Whew, and there's no swearing in it or anything. Whew, the amount of CPM on this video, my god, you are killing it. Regardless, Soul of Music, yeah, you have 2 million subscribers also. Wow, you did not need a shout out, but I love you still. I still think you're great. But yeah, no, this one is, again, I think this is probably a good testament though, of like, people are like, Soul of the Wind, not Soul of the Music. Soul of the Wind, you found it. You cracked the code for my weird addiction of this specific genre. Okay, you figured it out. All right, one more from Soul of Music. Then we'll move on to other very different but also very good ambient music that I think it's worth hearing. Peaceful piano with soft rain, relaxing music for sleep, and it's also a bitter rain. Yes. Okay, so this one is the opposite of what I just showed you, where it's kind of like it's distracting you, but it's pushing you in a direction of kind of like joy and happiness, a little bit upbeat, all that. This one is for my sad boys out there and girls, okay? Y'all who like the depressing music despite maybe you're pretty happy or maybe you're going through some shit, I don't know. But regardless, this one is down that route of like it's hard, it's beautiful. It is beautiful, but it is down the route of like a little somber, just a little bit somber, not crazy sad, but just like some stuff there. And it's just wonderful. It's also based on an anime that I gotta watch. It's a movie, I believe. Regardless, yeah, this one is a lot slower. So if you thought the last two were like a little bit too quick, because I think the pace of the piano or the violin or whatever the instrument is can kind of facilitate it being as distracting, because it's consistently trying to be like, hey, and not like, you know what I mean? It's just like super slow. You're kind of forgetting about it, but you also know the beat's coming, so it's comforting. Anyways, I might be talking nonsense, but this one is also fantastic. Again, I think I've given you 3. I've given you one that I think is good overall. I think I give you one that's good, but a little bit of happiness, and I give you one that's good for a little bit, but also a little somber, a little bit more quiet and serene, because it maybe facilitates that little bit of a somber mood, which tends to facilitate quiet, and silence and steadiness. I digress, my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into something a touch different. This is ambience facilitated by an atmosphere. So there's a difference between ambience and atmosphere, but this is kind of melding the two really close together. And this is also a channel called Calmed by Nature. I guess nature is a cafe, but regardless, This is Rainy Night Coffee Shop Ambience with relaxing jazz music and rain sounds for not 1 hour, not 2 hours, but 8 hours. That's not the name. I added that, but these people are crazy. These people are like, guess what? 8 hours, baby. You can't loop this shit? No. You gotta have 8 hours. Goddamn. Anyways, yeah, it's great. It's just the best. This is good in a different way. This is also good for studying. I just find it's like, again, it's weird because it facilitates like a mood. Again, like exactly what it says. It kind of, if you're really zoned into like your paper, it kind of makes you feel like you're okay. At least I'm in, and this is really useful in COVID land, you know, where we're all quarantined to some extent. The idea of like, I miss being out, and like maybe I don't miss being out around people. Hence why it's a empty cafe while it's raining outside. Fucking no thank people, but it still gives you the sense of like being connected to the outside world. You got these big windows, you can see outside. Also, the person that was his name, Calmed by Nature, does a very excellent job about like animating things. He goes like above and beyond in his own way, and yeah, it's just a very, very high effort kind of channel. And he has everything like this. He facilitates in a beautiful way ambience with atmosphere, and atmosphere can be huge, especially if you want to add some spice to your studying session or your sleeping, whatever. Sleeping in a rainy cafe, that sounds pretty wonderful, especially if you see the image on screen right now, which you do. Yeah, it's like this nice warm lights and all this stuff. I don't know where the fucking shopkeeper just left. What's that about? You're gonna get robbed. But I also see lights, so this seems like just a nightmare. This place is gonna go up in flames. There's tons of wood. There's a bunch of open flames. Seems like a rough time, but the atmosphere is adorable. Also, he always puts his little sleepy owl somewhere on screen. But I digress. Let's go check out this channel, because these two channels, beautiful. And this channel deserves a shit ton of more subscribers, because the amount of work that he puts in is absolutely ridiculous. Actually, I haven't heard this one yet. I want to hear this. And this is the best part about like the whole like rainy or like atmospheric kind of like channel space. You jump in, listen a little bit. Is it for you? Is it not? If it is, then you fucking favorite that bitch, and you just get to it whenever you get to it, whenever you need to relax. Now, by the way, guys, I hope every single time we go to a video, you're also like going down the description, clicking it, and then listening to me ramble. You probably could just go to the description and just click all the videos and see if you like them, and then just forget about the rest of the video. That'd be a lot, but I'd honestly get it. Anyways, oh, is this like Paris? This is like a nice rainy night Paris cafe ambience with smooth jazz, rain sounds for relaxation, focus, and sleep. I love the keyword search right there, by the way, my favorite thing. Where they're like, we're gonna hit relaxation, we're gonna hit focus, and we're gonna hit sleep. Also, it's stupid, I should shut up. But this one's great, although we're kind of out in the open. I don't know, the atmosphere is beautiful, but also, well, no. It's kind of hilarious, because this guy does very much feel like you play to like the introvert's fantasy, or like the introvert where he's like, you know what I want? I want to be in Paris while it's raining, and I don't see a fucking human being on the street. It's absolutely empty. But because I don't want to get stabbed and shanked, I want to look at a cafe that clearly has a lot of people having a good time in there. But I don't have to be in there, because God help me when I just have anxiety. No, thank you. But I'll stay here and just be in the presence, and I'll like a vampire have my alone time, but also have my physical, not physical, my like interacting with others, or at least being near the social, and suck that up. It's like, all right, as long as you're okay, I guess. Guys, Ambience is fantastic. This is also a banger. I'm gonna put that in my Ambient file. Green, you have an Ambient? Yes, I have a file for Ambience. Boom. Added. I like this one a lot. Also, I like the scenery. But yeah, this man or woman has a bunch of people, has a bunch of different types. Again, I think this one is going to be less of like jazz and rain, more about waves. Yes, ocean waves, tropical music. No worries. All right, don't tell me how to live my life. Yeah, I don't know. The tropic one never worked for me. The whole jazz and raininess, that works, and like hearing like clinks of glasses, like you're in like a cafe, that works. But the whole tropic thing, I just feel like you're lying to me. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm a crazy person, but I'm like, this is a fucking lies. I am in my room alone. Okay. talking to a camera, slowly going over insane. Anyway, and ladies and gentlemen, we have but one more that I can't really show you for fear of being copyright smashed in the teeth. But we're gonna go to the OG one, wherever you are. There it is. Okay, so now we're gonna deal with something else. Okay, so again, this, by the way, was all brought on by my journey of crippling insomnia and just all that, frankly. So I learned basically, I just went on a hunt to try to find out how to fix that shit and how to sleep, basically. So I went down the rabbit hole, and I've always been a fan of like primal technology. This is a different kind of ambience, I'll say. This is very, very weird. But this is a channel that is basically like primal technology, but he's continued to kind of go, well, it's weird because he's in like a different part of the world. He's in a different part of the world, so it's very different. He's cooking rice and shit, rather than your OG primal technology who is making spears and shit. Anyways, I love them both, but this gentleman has a different kind of ambience, and this is kind of like truest to form ambience, not necessarily ambient music, but you guys can see. This is a video. This man on his channel called Primal Skill has a ton of videos where none of them he says a word. In fact, nobody knows his voice, same as Primal Technology, if you've ever heard about that channel. But basically, if you guys haven't even heard about Primal Technology, it's basically a guy who survives like people did in the past and tries to use those skills, and it's very interesting to see a person with minimal tools create such amazing, fantastical things with virtually nothing. So this is like peak, and it's hilarious because I feel like the original Primal Technology stumbled upon this and then immediately found out what was so good about it, and then kept making it and like massively amplified that one thread, which is so many people, yes, they love seeing like a dude do something very odd and like hit a log with a hammer. But also, people love the sound of connecting with nature once again, and this like this kind of nullified. It's weird because you can totally tell they do actually some like sound mixing design stuff where you always hear the nature sounds almost as loud as like the smashing of the axe, which is again them clearly having like a boom mic or something, or some sort of like mic off in the middle of the forest, just picking up sounds, and then a mic of the camera picking up the hitting of the axes or the shaving of the whatever, which is actually like I don't know, I think it's cool because it's genuine intent to facilitate this serenity and like weird calmness. We could also do that. We could also do an episode of just covering like what is it, like just super relaxing, enjoyable kind of things. If you guys have any of those you want me to look at, we have a Discord. Send me some stuff at the hub channel or whatever you want. But this is like OG true to form. Honestly, I find this stuff the kind of the best to fall asleep to, just because it's like, I don't know, it's not too overbearing, but it's just kind of enough of like, okay. All right, you kind of get like this percussion sound, and also you hear birds chirping, and it's soft. Every now and again, the dude will not sound balance properly, and it'll like hit you with like a rainfall, and you're like, fuck, it's loud. I digress. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I have given you a plenty to read and look at. Not read, to go ahead and listen to. Hi, yeah, I ended the video and forgot about the whole ambient music thing. Hopefully I'll sneak this in before I just said goodbye. I'm sorry. Alright, so I genuinely wanted to look into ambient music and the benefits of it and such, and yeah. Alright, so first thing, Google. Good old teacher Google. What are the benefits of ambient music? First result is ambient music is also believed to activate areas in your brain responsible for analytical thinking and creativity, as well as increasing the brain's ability to absorb and retain information. Try listening to ambient music. Okay, all right. I mean, you've got me. You've intrigued me. Random study that may not be founded, but I'll believe it anyway. No kidding. Okay, so they're going into like tempo, like when you're exercising. If you want to stay motivated, you go with a high tempo kind of music, and it can help. 72 trials involving almost 77,000 patients, not a worse sample size. Found that participants who listened to music before and during, after the surgery reported less. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, music has a way of like getting your emotions in line, or even bringing emotions to head to the forefront. Anyways, sleep. Ooh, okay. Music has long served as a sleeping aid, but Working up to a pleasant tone instead of a jarring alarm can reduce. Oh yeah, and I knew about this. Yeah, so when you wake up, it's better to have like a nice soft alarm rather than a heavy hitting alarm, because it kind of starts you off in a bad mood and creates like a bad attachment to waking up, and you don't want that. Ooh, concentration. Okay, we don't get ambient specifically, but okay. Concentration. Many studies have shown that college students who listen to ambient sounds while studying have less anxiety, Pog, huge, great concentration, and better test scores. Ambient sounds include nature sounds, soothing instrumental music like acoustic guitar, piano, rain. According to this, these sounds work because they offer a steady rhythm with no sudden and disturbed temperature. That's what I thought it worked. See, that's what I mean. See, okay, boom, 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 boom. I got confirmation bias right here, hitting me in the chest. but yeah, what do you call it? That's what I thought. Like, you listen to so many ambient musics, and you're like, man. Okay, you had it, now you lost it. Where you add, like, because it's this nice, consistent tempo, and it's not like high percussion. Then you throw some percussion shit in there. You're like, okay, now I'm distracted. Now you've got me in a bad place. Anyways, this provides a calming environment and blocks this. Can influence your thoughts process. Ambient music is also believed to activate areas of the brain, which we read just now. Try listening to ambient music. Boom, boom, do that. Awesome. So it seems like, I don't know if it's 100%, to be honest. But for me it is. I could see that for me, like the idea of, I find it's easier to think of creative things when you're listening to music. I find it's easier to focus. I find, well, just because you're listening to something so soothing, your anxiety goes down, because you're not like, again, if you were to hear dun 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 dun, dun, you're like, I bet your anxiety would spike. Hence why horror movies do that. And if you do the opposite, I bet it would have the opposite like effect. And a long silence, a pause between notes, have an effect on the listener, as a subconscious mind will process those along with the ambient sounds, the texture, nature of music. Okay, well, this was clearly a part of an article that had other leading into this, but Google was like, no, thanks, fam. You're fine. I'm like, I'm not, but okay. What is ambient music? Oh, this definition, I guess. Ambient music is a genre of music that emphasizes tones and atmospheres over traditional musical structures and rhythms. And forms instrumental music. It may lack net composition, a beat, or okay, I don't think that's true at all, because none of the music that I've shown you thus far has lacked like rhythm or music, etc. I think I don't know, the ambient music, I feel like certain studies were being used as like the band, or like it, like, I don't know, jazz. No, because jazz music is jazz music is like the #1 ambient music attached to like rain sounds and sleep and shit. And I would say jazz is some of the most like rhythmic, not structured, but rhythmic kind of notes out there. Oh, here we go. Is ambient music good for sleep? How well does ambient music actually help you sleep? It turns out music can help you fall asleep much faster and get better help as long as you set it up properly. Studies have shown that listening to ambient music can help you sleep absolutely work. Okay. Huh. Intrigued. Let's open this up. Break this down. So from a website that I have no idea if it's verified. They could lie to me, it's fine. When choosing ambient music to fall asleep to, look for a similar rhythm, beat, and volume, so one song fades into the next, and your brain won't be... Yeah, exactly. I already knew this. Yeah, again, it's cool when people finally put it down in like jot form, because I'm always like, yeah, no, that's not it. That's all I know. I just like, nope, that's too much. Like, you transition to a song and the audio is louder, and you're like, what happened? Like, you're taking me out of it. I'm supposed to be not focusing on you, and now you've made me focus on the thing that I'm not trying to focus on. So you sound like a crazy person to me. Anyway, keep your playback device at a distance, and use the volume lever if the device has one. This will keep you from wanting to consistently adjust the volume and find another. Yeah, that's true. I find that too. When I try to go to sleep with my thing, I sometimes jump around. I'm like, nah, it's too loud. Nah, it's too quiet. Nah, it's too loud. And then I'm just fighting with one tick, 6 and 7. I'm like, is 6 it? Is 7 it? Ah! And I'm like, you idiot, just go to sleep. You stupid. But when you put it away from you, it's like, okay, well, I'm in for a penny and for a pinch. Here we go. I'm just going to have to suffer with it. And then you're like, all right, I'm asleep already. Again, this is just confirmation bias. Limit the length of your playlist so it doesn't run too long. Or set a timer so it shuts off automatically. This will reduce the risk of the chance to wake up once you've fallen asleep. See, I see the opposite of this, because a lot of the ambient music that I've suggested to you guys is on a loop. So it's literally like the same song played in the same order kind of thing. Because I think they know all this. A lot of the channels I showed you guys who are like the cream of the crop, really good at what they do, adding the jazz, adding the music, adding like some clanks of glasses, adding some like, again, the one that I still have up right here, it's like a road is here. So I think if I listen to this, you'd hear like slight tires going across wet concrete or whatever, or a gravel kind of road. Regardless, I find to me that would wake me up. The idea of the thing that I'm listening to that's consistent, that just stopping, my brain would be like, something changed, and it would wake up. So for me, I think it's better. I disagree with this one somewhat. I do think the automatic changing of a song to like going to the next playlist, and then it's just like it's like a different rhythm entirely, and it's all messed up because I don't know, the person who's making the mix is just bad or what. But most of them out there are pretty fantastic. But this is interesting, yeah. So apparently, listening to ambient music lights up certain synapses in your brain, helps you focus. Studies say that's kind of a bitch-ass move, though, when people say studies say, because who knows? What studies? What are the studies? And they're like, I don't want to go look for them. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to look for them either. Let's just try it and see if it works. Okay? It worked for me. I was a placebo. Well, it still fucking worked. Anyways, this is how research works for me, guys. It's a battle every time. I'm like, all right, I'll just test it. Instead, I'll just put it and see if it works, and if it doesn't, then it's lies. If it is, then it works. Not the best scientific method, I'll admit, but it is what it is. Okay. But anyways, me in the past, take us away with the outro. But yes, I love so dearly ambient music, and I'm sure you do too, hence why you're probably here. But yeah, ambient music is such a blast to listen to. It is absolutely wonderful. I find it is, again, I don't know what it is, but it's like kind of like a weird self-medicating thing for me, where like I've always had that part of my brain that just wants to race, wants to sprint full tilt. And exercising after a couple years of doing that's helped a great deal, but also just the other aspect where your brain kind of wanders. The fact that there's this consistent sound that is not distracting but still present is such a beautiful thing to help you really nail down and focus on what you're trying to actually focus on. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know. I genuinely want to know if you guys have found any sort of gems out there in the ambient music kind of threads that are similar to the ones I showed you. If we have the same taste, then perfect. If you don't, then hell, maybe you may win me over to your side. Still show me. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, this has been ambient music, why it's fantastic, and everything like that. Hopefully you enjoyed. We're going to be doing much more stuff like this on the channel. Also, let me know what you want. Let me know what you like, because maybe I like it too, and I'll be like, hey, I can make a video about that. We could share in stuff that we enjoy. That's kind of the point of this Share Your Grin series. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you do enjoy the rest of your day. Also, for anyone who supported the video, thank you so much. Appreciate you immensely. And goodbye.